Here we
I got
go.
kittens running
5,
around.
4, 3, 2, and we are live here once again at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal.
That would make me terrible, Troy.
And I'm Justin Beheading.
Excellent.
Very nice.
And a shout out to the treacherous Trista Robinson out there. She couldn't be here, but she sends her love, and we send our love back to her.
Absolutely.
We miss you, Trista.
Yeah.
Yep. Hope all is well.
Yeah. This has been the first time Troy's been back on the show for a little while. He was on one episode here, and then he's been off again. So we'll probably hear Troy the whole time. He may flicker out. He's stuck in the Matrix.
It's true. It's true. I've got like the multiverse happening here.
All right. So tonight's we've been building this up. We normally do it earlier in the year, but it's our top 13 films of 2022.
Woo!
Also, a shout out to Alok Mirsha, who's going to be here, but he cannot be here this evening, but he will be on the show again here in the near future. All right, so who's going to start? We're going to start with Justin.
Yes.
Number 13.
I think that's tradition now.
Yeah.
Hey, so it is written, so it shall be done. My number 13 is one of a few movies that actually did catch me by surprise that it ended up being as good as it was for me personally. Smile. You know, it's a movie that from the trailers, it doesn't exactly look all that great, and kind of resembled a Blumhouse movie from some years ago, Truth or Dare. But no, it's one of the few horror movies to have jump scares in a while that actually work. And, you know, it's actually really good at building atmosphere and such. And no, it was solid horror movie for when did it come out? Like in fall?
Yeah, it came out. I've been the last couple of years, and because I always by the time we do this, I always forget when do movies come out.
Yeah.
So I've been keeping a list, and that was one of the early ones on my list. I guess it was later, a little bit later in the year, but I was. It's actually higher on my list. I went in thinking it might be fun or something, but it definitely exceeded my expectations too. I had in my notes about it effective jump scares, like you said. Yep. And I also think there's more to the movie than just like the jump scares. I think the themes are really interesting. There's a lot of like about guilt. Sure. And it's a much weirder movie than I expected, especially near the end. So it was a movie that really worked for me.
Oh yeah.
All right. Very good choice, 13. You want to go to Troy for his, or we'll do mine. We'll go in reverse of age here.
All right, I like it.
Fuzzball, did we mention X yet? We literally just mentioned one film, so we may get here. We'll find out. Number 13, I actually have a lot of honorable mentions, which we'll probably get to later. So I was like, I didn't know who to put for my 13 because I had a lot of ones that could have gone here. But I went with one that I thought might be on anyone else's list, so it would be nice to include it, and that is The Hatching, which is a really weird movie I saw at Boston Underground Film Festival. And it probably, I don't know if it's been released yet, like if it had distribution or if it's been on Shudder or anything like that. I'm not positive, but so potentially it may actually be a 2023 movie, but I saw it in 2022. And it's a very bizarre movie about a girl who finds this egg and she keeps it. And it gets huge, and then it hatches, and a bizarre creature comes out. And I don't want to give too much away about the movie, but it's about her keeping this creature secret, the egg secret, the creature secret, feeding it. And you might guess what she has to feed it, but it's a very bizarre movie. And
the trailer looked great on that one. Like, I haven't seen the movie.
Same here. I never got around to it for some reason. Meant to.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not sure if it even maybe it did have a release, but it's probably not like they didn't have a wide release if it did. You're 13, Troy.
My number 13 is a movie that I started out loving, and then it kind of, for me, just fell apart as the movie went on. But because I liked the first half of it so much. Barbarian is my number 13, which the first like hour or so of the movie I love. And then it just kind of gets wacky on me.
I actually feel the same way. I think the first 42 minutes or so is like
maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
I think they do a really good job building this the tension between the two characters and keeping you not sure.
So great. And
like he's throwing out the red flags and you think and then you think, well, maybe that's misdirection. It's her who's really the and then it goes into crazy territories. And I kind of think if it would have ended at one point, for me it really does I actually really dislike the Justin Long character, which I know some people
I did too.
Same.
And because Richard Brake, Skarsgård, everybody else I thought did a great job in it.
Yeah, I think his character, it also really changes the tone of the movie, becomes more comedic with Justin Long. It seems like a different kind of movie. And I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but I think after the first 40 kind of minutes of it, the tension is gone because you kind of know what is in store as the movie keeps, when other people go into the house, you kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah. What everybody was telling me was so oh, you're going to be shocked. I thought was kind of the more predictable parts of the movie. I don't know. I was expected to be shocked in other ways, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't want to diss the movie because it didn't quite make my list. I had it on and off too because I do really like the first 40 minutes, and it's definitely I'm not going to say it's a bad movie at all, but it for me it does. The second half is not as good.
Yep.
No, 100%. And honestly, my two biggest gripes with the movie were it felt, and I mean, movies should be trying to do things a little differently here and there, horror movies especially. But I feel like there needs to be that middle ground between having some of the familiar stuff and trying to do things differently. And I felt like that movie's goal was, we're doing this because it's different. And that was the goal the whole way through. It never settled down. It was constantly thinking, it's kind of how, controversial thought, how I feel about the original Scream on repeat viewings. It's not as brilliant as it was on that first viewing. Though Scream is much more brilliant than Barbarian, I think, at this point. But basically, with Barbarian, it just felt like a movie that was trying too hard to be original and different.
Yeah, it was too clever for its own good, maybe, or thought it was.
Exactly. But the other biggest problem I had with it was I didn't like the way it looked visually. And I feel like that's a big problem with horror movies now is they have that stale digital look where they don't do anything with the color or have any interesting shot compositions. And so that was another thing that really turned me off from the beginning.
Yeah, it's interesting because people know I also do the wrestling podcast, and that's a similar complaint for me in some of the wrestling stuff because people say, "Oh, that's too predictable" or something like that. But in wrestling, the same thing in movie. If you do swerves for the sake of swerving the audience, it still has to make sense. And sometimes predictability isn't always that bad because you have foreshadow. Basic storytelling is you have foreshadowing and you can see why something would happen. There was stuff in Barbarian. We'll give a little bit of spoilers. The guy when they first go downstairs, okay, but no one in their right mind when the secret door opens, maybe they'll go down. I don't know. But it's when the door opens, then they find this room with a hidden camera with clearly some really bad stuff's going on. Then to go down into a dungeon step, there's nobody that would do this. Everyone would have left before that.
Call the cops at least.
Yeah, right, a little sensibility kicks in at some point.
And I also have this is a bigger spoiler, so there'll be some spoilers here because I think we're going to talk about the movie. And one of my big issues with the movie too is there's I think it's good dialogue when the homeless guy says, "The mother, that's not even the worst thing there. There's worse things in the house." So it's whoa. So there's stuff. There's other things. There's other inbred mutants in there. But from what I understand, I guess by the end of the movie, he meant the Richard Brake character, which I understand technically he's the real villain for doing this. But at this point in time, he's a bedridden guy just trying to kill himself. He can't even do anything. He's not dangerous at all.
Yeah, I know.
He's barely alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. All right, but it is gross, and yeah. But anyway, number 12, and I have a personal beef with it because they showed a sneak preview of it at our premiere in London at Fright Fest, right when our second movie was halfway playing. So kind of
all right.
Oh.
But
Let's see.
now
So
we're into the Dirty Dozen, number 12.
Oh, yes.
Classic. So my number 12 is a Shudder horror movie called She Will.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys, I think that's one that's a little more under the radar ish. It's a woman who's, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've seen it, but she's dying of cancer and goes to a resort that ends up rejuvenating her and also giving her these strange powers, and it gets very surreal and trippy, and it was a pretty good, solid feminist horror movie. It was really well done. I enjoyed it.
I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to see this.
yeah. I
Yeah.
saw the trailers for it too, and I haven't seen it either.
It's Alice Krieg, who was I don't know if you guys are Star Trek fans,
she was
but
actually going to be on the show for this movie. Now that you mention it, and for some reason it didn't happen. But I'm going to look back in there, try to get back on. But she's in a lot of cool stuff.
oh yeah, Borg Queen from Star Trek First Contact. So yeah, no, she's great in it. Everybody's great in the movie. It's
And I didn't realize till recently she was also in the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She's the woman who owns the house.
Oh, no kidding.
Though I will say one gripe that I do have with the movie is there's a scene at a bar, and it's one of those things that when a certain song plays in a movie and that song becomes famous and tied to that movie, it should never, if you can help it, it should never appear in another movie again. And they actually play White Horses.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, in a bar, which immediately took me out of the scene in the movie because I'm just like, what? No, what? No.
Yeah, you need Buffalo
Get that outta
Bill
here.
needs to be dancing and
Yep.
Exactly.
The first time Annabelle and I went to Charlie's, it's a hamburger place. We used to go after movies at the Coolidge, and the first time we went there, they were playing that on the video you can watch. I thought it was fun.
Oh, that's funny.
That is pretty good.
My number 12 is probably going to be higher on a lot of people's, and they might even yell at me for having it lower than it is, and that is Pearl. And I like Pearl. I think if I never saw X in a way, I'd probably like it more. My only real issue with the movie is, going into the movie, if you've seen X, that she's a murderer. So the build to her becoming who she is, to me, is a little bit ruined because you kind of know it's going there. But it's still really well made. It's funny. Maya Goth, she's great. She had an amazing last year and going into 2023.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Her big monologue scene is fantastic, and I really like the movie. It's just that I have that it was hard for me to get into the beginning because I kind of knew what was going to happen. But when they get there, though, it's fantastic stuff.
I have not seen this one either.
And
Oh,
also,
man.
I'm
I
bad
thought
this year.
I thought going in it would it took away. I still kind of think it takes a little bit away from her character in X, because again, some spoilers here. I kind of like the idea in X. Her motivation is she is jealous of the youth of the other characters. With if you see her in Pearl, and know she's always had these things, it's kind of she's always been a murderer. Giant spoilers here, but so to me it takes a little bit away from X, but both are really good movies though, and it's cool. I like the idea of seeing these characters over time, and then we have that team coming out, and then it also brings up kind of the idea of cycles, and so I think that's all interesting. And I wanted to rate the movie. I'm just saying why I had a 12 and not higher. By the way, here, a lot of people in the chat. Dave Bailey, you nailed it. He's talking about Barbarian. It lost me when she went down after Skarsgård. But then when he went down further, I was like, this isn't scary anymore because no one would do that. Brian O'Toole, I hope one of my films makes the list. Well, I hope so too, Brian. Dave Bailey, wish he would have just been a first-time killer next. That's what I thought too. Interesting. All right. Troy, what's your number 12?
My number 12, not sure which site this one came on, but Christmas Bloody Christmas, which was a ton of fun. Is that what it was? All right.
Yeah. It
That
may be higher on my list. Yeah.
Oh, no worries there.
Might be higher on mine too.
Also, no worries at all, because that was a ton of fun. I just thought the crazy Santa robot, just like the perfect like killing machine, just great.
Yeah, this one for me kind of just came out of nowhere. I didn't even really know it was coming out. Then I just saw it was out, and I'm a sucker, just like Justin and I think Troy here, for Christmas horror movies.
Oh yeah,
like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna check this out. It's got an original take on we've seen lots of Killer Santas, but this is a different take on it. It's like a cross between a Killer Santa and the Terminator. And Just was talking about some of the new movies not looking great. This is a movie shot on film and looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
looks like an actual movie from the 80s. And I think sometimes people, when they want to make a retro movie, they do a different way. Like they'll throw like Rubik's cubes and all this stuff in the movie, but this just feels like a movie from the 80s, but yet it's set in modern day.
Yeah.
So and this actually made me go and check out Joe Bago's other movies, which I had not seen a lot, several of them, and I'm a big fan of his work now. But yeah, I love this movie. And cheap plug, you can check out the interview with Abraham Ben Ruby, who played the Killer Santa on the show.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah, I really enjoyed it though. That my number 12.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
It's
fun kills. The dialogue sometimes is overlooked too, because it seems very natural.
Yeah.
And so you actually are interested in the characters before things start to happen to them.
Yeah, both Christmas. The other one didn't make my list because I didn't really consider it like horror.
All right. It may
was the what was the one with David Harbour?
Oh,
Violent Night.
Yeah, which I thought was just awesome. I loved everything about that movie.
Interesting you say that, because the Hague Awards. So how we're doing the first annual Hague Awards, and first time I mentioned this, they're going to be an actual award show here on this YouTube page. I have some presenters who are presenting the awards, and when the voting ends, I'm going to ask and see who's up for accepting the award. So it's going to be a fun time.
Oh, that'll be a good time.
And so how I did them was I had an open ballot where people could just write in everything. And so then I took the top 5 vote getters from each and made an actual ballot. And I was blown away by the amount of people voting. It was over 200 people in the first couple of days. I was like, whoa, this is sweet. And so I decided to make an actual show. And but the point was, a lot of people had voted for Violent Night for best death scene. And I'm normally not a guy who argues about genre, but I did think I don't really consider it a horror movie. So
same.
Which I absolutely love the movie.
I love it too.
I suggest everybody see this one. This one's so good.
Yeah. Abraham even suggests, he said people are talking to him that they want to see a crossover where it's Jeff Hart as a against Dave Harbour against his Robo Sandwich. I'm all about.
That'd be great.
Anytime you can get Harbour, just somebody beating the shit out of him, then you got to do
that
it.
was
That's
one
what I said.
thought it looked really fun from the trailer, but it even was more fun than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And
saw it 3 times in theaters.
Oh, really?
Oh,
awesome.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It was just so awesome.
Our
mom loved it. That was like her favorite
birthday.
movie.
Our mom and Troy.
Oh, nice.
And Ty Chayman here from Fuzzball Productions. We are fighting to get Slasher Days of Summer done and released for December. Hopefully it'll make a list next year. Well, we are looking forward to it.
Yes, indeed.
Nice.
All right. Number 11, Justin. And sorry if I talk a lot here.
Oh no. Hey, that's what we're all here for, right? You
Yep,
know,
absolutely.
talk horror movies, you know, go on tangents. It's
Yeah,
all
we'll
good.
be
It's
all
fun.
over the place. You know that.
So my number 11 is another one that caught me by surprise. I mean, I had heard about the movie months earlier, and I don't know why I was so hesitant to jump on it until the latter half of the year, but it was Deadstream. And it's a movie that I just checked out on a whim, you know, and I was shocked at how actually legitimately funny it was. I mean, for one thing, the style of it, you know, parodying YouTubers and stuff like that with all the windows that pop up, you know, with the comments and everything.
Yep.
It was just great seeing things like, you know, you see a figure going around in the back and then someone in the comments telling the guy, hey, did you see that thing back there? You should really turn around, and seeing stuff like that. And it got to a point near the end where the guy was getting bashed against the wall by this this demon, that I realized, oh my God, this is basically Evil Dead 2 if it was a found footage movie. This is great. No, so that it caught me off guard. It caught me by surprise. I loved the hell out of it when I first saw it, and I honestly need to watch it again.
Very good. I have to admit, I've not seen it, and I know everyone really loves it, and it's doing actually. It's was on the ballot for funniest horror movie of the year. So.
Yeah, I liked it a ton. I thought it was like so clever.
Number 11, the last one. I think some people might be mad I don't have higher. This one's I know some of my friends are mad I have it on the list at all. And
oh boy,
I love the movie. I know a lot of people hated it, but I love the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Nice.
And I love that it's completely preposterous and it takes big leaps of faith for the movie to even make sense. I embrace the absurdity of it because it in this movie. So it's a direct sequel to the first, the original, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface is a grown man, and he's killing everybody. In this movie, he's now in an orphanage. So they found this grown man, and they just took him into an orphanage. And I'm not going to argue with anyone who thinks that's stupid. But
he's like a 40-year-old guy. He's in an orphanage.
Well, he's like 60 in the movie.
Oh, is he? That's awesome.
But he grew up in the orphanage during the last 20 years or whatever, 30 or 40 years. So it makes no sense. I think you could even had that make sense. You could have the woman just show a little thing like she found this grown guy who's clearly, deranged, and she took him in, and I don't know, like could have found him as an adult, but they have like a picture where he's in with the orphans. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's super bloody. It's a very graphic movie. It's got fun kills. It's goofy as hell. And I kind of loved it. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre number 11.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen that one.
But you're number 11. And I honestly think it's the best sequel since number 3. I'd put it equally with number 3.
Okay. My number 11 is Prey, which is the
Predator.
Weird Predator, yes. Strange alien thing whose name escapes me. And I think it was a Netflix thing. And
Hulu, actually.
Hulu, okay. And I really enjoyed it. Like it was another one that going in, I was like, this is probably gonna suck. But I ended up really liking it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I think that was one a couple things so like when Terrifier 2 was so big, it really helped independent film into the theaters.
Yep.
And that was one. Then looking back, people liked it so good on streaming. They're like, it really should have went to the theater. So I think in a way, its success on streaming also helped other horror films get theatrical releases. But It
No,
was
you're
one
probably right.
going in.
Yeah.
A lot of people were not into the idea. I thought it looked good from the trailer.
Yep.
And then also the idea of it being on Hulu, people are like, "Oh, it's probably not very good because it's like made for streaming." But I really think people have to get over that because
Oh yeah.
in this day, like Martin Scorsese makes movies for Netflix.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like it's not the same as a direct to video, even though I like a lot of direct to video movies, but the
So do
idea of
I.
it being made for Hulu or Netflix,
Yeah, being some kind of
yeah,
like low rent kind of thing.
right, yeah, those days it's just a different thing. I mean, not
Yep.
everyone goes to the theaters, and they're not technically made for those. It's just that's where they get distributed.
Yep.
But no, that's a really good movie.
Yeah, I had no problem with it at all. Like I ended up really enjoying it.
I need to see it.
I think you'd like it. Like if you're a Predator kind of guy, I think you'd get into the vibe here.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
All right, number 10.
Okay, so number 10 is going to be a kind of an interesting, controversial one. It's one that might cause some clashes here, especially because it's just barely a horror movie, but I consider it one just because of the director involved and certain stylistic choices. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Hell yeah.
I think it's on Troy's list too, but yeah.
It might be very high on my
it.
list because I adore that movie. That was one of my favorite movies of the entire year.
It's one of the last few Marvel movies I've really liked in a while. That I loved because
Yep.
I went to see the one that everybody loved before that, No Way Home, and wasn't as big of a fan of it. And especially wasn't a big fan of the jokes, but something about the jokes and especially the fact that Doctor Strange actually looks like a movie compared to other Marvel movies.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, you have Sam Raimi directing it, so of course it's going to look like a movie. Of course it's going to have more style than most other Marvel movies, and it's just like all the references to the Evil Dead movies. It was basically an Evil Dead Marvel movie, and I had a blast with it. It's also as far as we got with a PG-13 gory Marvel movie. So, I had a blast with it, and I'm glad it's the movie that I'm capping off going to see Marvel movies for. I'm not seeing any more after this.
Unless they do, what if he directs the next?
Yeah, what if there's a Strange 3?
I think this is as good as it gets.
Okay. And I gotta say, like, you don't get much cooler than a zombie Doctor Strange with a cloak of souls. I mean, I never knew I needed that, but I did. And I'm glad I got it. And thank you, Sam Raimi.
And also, we have our first Bruce Campbell cameo in a Marvel movie in a while. The last time that would have happened would have been with his Spider-Man movies.
Oh yeah, yep.
And
yeah, the first time in the MCU with a cameo with him.
And God, it was glorious.
Yep.
Ty Chayman says Marvel Zombies is in the works for next spring. Interesting. By the way, thanks to Ty Chayman. He's one of the judges on Severed Limbs 12, which is this Saturday. And I just got it. It was over 6 hours. It's over 6 hours. It's 37 shorts, so it took a long time to render and get together. But it is up. It is up and hidden.
That's
on,
a labor
YouTube
of love
right
there, Nasty Neal. That's awesome.
I didn't have time to make a trailer for a big announcement soon, but I'll keep that in wraps for now. But there's something coming up. Yeah.
Remember one thing: nobody doesn't pay the pizza papa.
Love it.
Troy's entering the multiverse right now.
I am. It's my strange tattoo. That's what happened.
Let's see. Number 10 is a movie I really liked. I don't know if it might be my third favorite of Jordan Peele's movie, but I still really liked it, and that is Nope. I think Gordy, the ape, the chimp.
Oh yeah,
he could have had his own movie. Yeah. He's awesome in it. I like the the mythology of the UFO in the movie.
Yeah, completely different take than you've ever
Yeah,
seen in
it's
anything else.
interesting. Kind of that idea kind of reminds me of a kind of a Stephen King kind of idea where you take something that everyone knows and you make something like new with it.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I like that, and they tried to explain why, like, it's hard for people to get pictures of it, video of it. So I thought all that was interesting. Great cast in the movie. I really like the he's almost like the Quint of the movie, where he's the guy that's chasing the UFO. I really like that character.
Oh yeah.
No, it's really good. I don't know if it's not my favorite Jordan Peele movie, but still a great movie. So number 10 is Nope.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was we're right. All right, number 10 for Troy. I thought I went out of turn for a second.
Oh no, my number
you're
10.
good.
My number 10's already been mentioned, and it's Deadstream, which I just thought was
cool.
such a clever movie. Neal's got to watch it. I think that's all there is to that one.
All right, I will put this
100%.
on my list.
I think you will dig it.
Give him the Ludovico treatment for that.
Give
Oh wait, no, that won't work. He'll end up not liking it.
him the little strange on that one. I could give him the tiny Ultron.
Oh, very
Oh,
cool.
man.
I love these figures.
That's
Yeah,
great.
this is from the Marvel United by Come On Games, and they
Very
have
cool.
them more like big fist cartoony, and I'm loving the figures in this game.
Nice.
By the way, I have my Valentine's Day stuff up here.
Nice, very good.
All right, it goes well with all the monsters. All right, number 9 for Justin.
So number 9 is Black Phone.
Nice.
It was a solid Thursday night movie for me. I saw it a week after it came out. I don't remember why. Maybe I was out of town or something. I don't remember. But I saw it a week later, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, it's set in the 70s, and it's very almost like a low-key 70s where you just see like details here and there.
Yeah.
A big plus for me was the fact that a show that my mother introduced me to. In fact, my folks have introduced me to a lot of shows that I love, and one of those is Emergency, that appears on a TV in the movie. So that was kind of a nice little bit of nostalgia for me when I saw that on the TV. And Ethan Hawke is just great.
Oh, he's so spooky in that.
That mask is iconic. That's,
and the changing of the mask is I think is a really cool touch.
Oh yeah.
With the different no facial expressions and the different ones. Yeah.
The frowny face.
I think they get a lot out of that character without showing a lot, because they hint at stuff that in your mind makes a movie even darker than what you're seeing, but they never explicitly say like he's a child molester or something. But there's a lot of hints that way.
Oh yeah,
especially like with the game he's going to play, and they never actually show it. And I think that was good, because a lot of times your imagination is worse than what you can film. So also I thought it kind of reminded me of like a game in a way, where you you have to collect all these different items and then you use them like a Zelda or something, where you you have to use all these items. And so the main character is like getting all these different things, and they actually at first when I'm watching, I was like, what's the point of all this stuff? Because none of it leads anywhere. But as the movie progresses, like each one helps him progress, which I thought was very cool. His sister's great in the movie. And I also think Jeremy Davies is a really underrated character in that movie. I thought it's a small part, but I thought it was a very realistic portrayal of someone like that. It was good. But yeah, overall, I thought that was a great movie. And I had read the short story going into this. And after I read it, I was like, I don't know how they're going to make this movie, because the short story is super short. I was like, they're going to have to just make up a bunch of, which they did, but they just really just took, just the real basic idea. And the grabber doesn't look anything like he does in the short story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a Joe Hill story.
Yeah. And sometimes that doesn't work when you like take your own liberties with stuff, but Black Phone really worked. And there's another one kind of like you mentioned with the movie earlier, or Go a Smile. Like it looked like maybe it is a Blumhouse movie, but it was much better than I expected it to be. And plus it kept being
100%.
delayed, so that's sometimes a bad sign that a movie might not be that great.
But and I will say it's a movie that's now got me thinking which is a better movie when that one kid, the martial artist, his two favorite movies are between Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Enter the Dragon. I'm kind of still thinking to this day, damn, which one of those do I like better? And a
You
part
can
of me
have
is
them
almost
both.
it's true. A part of me almost does surprisingly lean towards Enter the Dragon a little, but I don't know.
So number 9 for me is also the Black Phone. For all the reasons I
Excellent.
just said. Yeah, great choice.
Syncing up.
Yeah. Number 9 for Troy.
My number 9 was, I think your number 10 is Nope, which
very
I
cool.
really dug. I liked it a lot. I thought like all the actors were great in it. And yeah, I really, there's not really much I dislike about the movie. I definitely like it. It might be my third for Peele as well, but the other two were both really, really good.
Yeah, I like all three of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, varying degrees. But yeah. The first one's still probably the best. But,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Number 8 for Justin.
Number 8 is a movie that I meant to see earlier in the year, especially since they were showing it in theaters before it went to Shudder. The Watcher.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, solid slow burn horror movie.
I liked it too.
And there was some review somewhere that described it as very Polanski-esque, which I can kind of see that.
See that,
yeah.
There are definitely moments that remind me of The Tenant, minus finding a tooth in the wall. Yeah, no, very awesome. You know, little what's the word I'm thinking of? Mostly contained thriller, save for the few scenes that go out of the apartment, and you know, I dug it. Not much more I can say about it.
I really liked it too. I think I might have saw it the same week I saw Black Phone. It was the same week I saw something, and I didn't know what it was, but it happened to be playing at my AMC, which luckily my AMC shows a lot of like movies that have like a smaller release, because I don't think it had a giant,
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't remember it
release.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So I went in not really knowing anything about it, and I really liked it. Micah Monroe was great in it, and they do a really cool job in making you feel her being like alone. And I think not having the subtitles was really smart, because you could feel how she, her not understanding what the people of that country are saying. You get the sense of, no one's there for her. And I really like that. And the what's his name? It's like Burn something. I have it down here. Burn Gorman, great as the villain in the movie. Let's see. My number 8 is Adult Swim's Yule Log.
Nice.
I did not know anything about. I saw a couple people posting about it on Facebook. I was like, what is this? And so I went and watched it. And at first I was like, what the hell is going on? Because it's a few minutes of just the Yule log burning. And then for a good portion of the movie, it's like a stationary camera on the Yule log with things going on. So some are in camera, some are out of character, out of the camera. And it's very strange, very original. The villain Pleatherface in it is great, and the mother and Pleatherface. Then there's some weird, very David Lynch like stuff with the man in the fire, which is very bizarre. There's a lot of social commentary in the movie, almost kind of I don't know if he's stuck in, but it's very, there's so much stuff going on in the movie. It's a weird comedy, it's horror, there's aliens, it's just multi-dimensional time traveling. I don't know. It's a man fighting a log, which I'm a big fan anytime someone fights inanimate objects. So this is a very bizarre original movie, and it made me go check out Casper Kelly's other stuff, which he did Too Many Cooks, which is a really fun short film on Adult Swim. And then I fell in love with his show, Your Pretty Faces Going to Hell. This show is great. If I had not heard of it before, I admit, but I like this so good, I went and watched his other stuff, and I think there's 5 seasons of it, and they're very short, like 15-minute episodes. And it's about.
I'll have to check those out, because after you told me about this one and I watched it, I was like, there's a lot going on here. It's like it's just cram jammed with stuff. There's stuff in every direction.
So it's about the show is about hell. It's about demons in hell and their mundane life of torturing new people coming to hell. So it's almost like The Office of hell. It's a totally bizarre thing. I recommend it. You can binge watch it in a couple of days, probably, because those episodes aren't very long. But anyway, Adult Swim's Yule-log, I'm a big fan.
Yep, I dug it too.
Number 8. By
Number
the way,
8.
Deadpool. This is Deadpool here in the chat. Hey guys, hope all's well. Have to say, a movie that surprised me in 2022 was Sick. Blumhouse is on top with horror. Interesting. I don't think I've seen Sick.
No, I haven't either.
I haven't heard of it.
No. My number 8 is another one of the King family with a phone. And this one's Mr. Harrigan's Phone.
I have to admit, I didn't watch it. I really love the story.
I think you'd like it, Neil. They did a really nice job with it. It just seemed like the story itself is it's a good story, but kind of slow moving. Mm-hmm. And it was I think it might have been better seeing it in a visual way than than to listen to it in an audio thing. I really liked it.
Well, I like the audiobook, so yeah.
Yeah. And who's the old guy in it? Donald Sutherland's great in it.
I always like Donald Sutherland.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see him still. Man, he's got longevity.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But if anybody hasn't seen it, like, just if you got an hour and a half to spare, check it out. You might really dig it, because I liked it a lot.
Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely gonna check it out. I'm sorry I've not watched it. Number 7.
I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it was made for Netflix.
Yeah.
So my number 7 is X, which I will say it's a movie that I really liked when I saw it in theaters. But I just thought, that's as far as it goes. But on repeat viewings, I found that I actually love it more than I thought I did, because I've seen it quite a few times now. Both that and Pearl I've seen about the same amount of times now, and so that's it's a fun little riff on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a great movie to see still pretty early in 2022 in theaters, and I mean, it's creepy, it's funny, it's all this stuff. Is Ty West, who I've still only seen that, Pearl, and House of the Devil, but I love House of the Devil, and so that's
House of the Devil's awesome.
It's not a lot I can say about it. It also has some great gory kills here and there that got me excited in the theater.
Yeah. It was funny. I noticed when I was putting up old shows on getting the old shows back up on iTunes and stuff. And back in the day, this was right when House of the Devil came out. We gave away an autographed poster of House of the Devil that the studio that made it gave us. And looking back, I was like, wow, whoever won that, like, they got a pretty awesome deal there. Signed by Ty, before anyone really knew who he was.
Oh yeah. Do you know who it was? Who won it?
No.
Oh.
We probably say it on the show.
Yeah.
Number was that? Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it might be time to look up who it was.
Yeah.
On that episode.
Number 7 was Justin's number 8, and that is Watcher.
Nice.
Really cool movie that really came out of nowhere. It is fun. It's not always possible, but it's fun when you can go into a movie and not really know anything about it. That
I
was
think
one
I
of the-
actually watched it this year, and I didn't know if it was one from this year or last
Oh,
year.
right, yeah.
Or it may have made my list as well, because I
Right.
really liked it too.
Yeah, it was one I went to see and I really liked, and I told Annabelle and we went to see it.
Oh, okay.
So I saw it twice in the theater. Number 6.
Oh, number 7
Oh, 7.
I'm
for
sorry,
me.
7.
Mine, I know Neil hasn't been a fan of the series, but I have. And this one I think has been maybe my favorite of them, is the VHS 99.
Oh, okay.
Which I think this one really, really grabbed me. This one was even crazier than some of the earlier ones. And I like the story behind everything. If you haven't watched them, check this one out. I think you'll like it.
I've heard good things about the VHS 99. I haven't seen that one, but I'm not big on the series, like you
Yeah.
said. But yeah, I will check that out. That's on. I believe that's on Shudder, right?
I think so.
All right, we're going to the 6. We used to do 666, but now it's 13. So number 6.
So my number 6 was another one on the list that I was caught off guard with how much I ended up loving the movie. In fact, it was kind of a thing where looking up just what movies came out in 2022 and kind of putting together like a list of, okay, let's pick 5 movies or however many spots I had, maybe try and pick a few more than that in case the ones I see end up not being good. But this was one that I went in completely blind, watched it, loved it, actually laughed quite hard during it. It was a Glorious. Which have you guys heard about this movie at all?
I know the movie and I haven't seen it, but from understand, it's like a Lovecraftian movie about a glory hole.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
I remember seeing the trailer for that one too, but I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, a movie where where a guy.
It was actually on my list of movies I wanted to watch before I did this, and then I did not get to.
There was a guy who is just stuck in this bathroom with you find out is a demon talking to him through a glory hole, and the demon is voiced by J.K. Simmons.
No.
Which, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, this little low-budget indie horror comedy, which I didn't even know it was a horror comedy. That's how blind I was going into it.
Yeah.
I knew Deadstream was a comedy, I didn't expect it to make me laugh, but as much as it did. But Glorious, I did not know was a comedy until it got to the bathroom stuff, and I'm like, I'm laughing more at this than I thought I would. This is, and I mean, and especially when I'm thinking about that, here is J.K. Simmons, who's literally only a voice, because they probably couldn't afford to have him on there for more than a day.
Yeah. Yep.
And just
Oh, that's tremendous.
It's great.
Now I want to see it even more.
Yeah, no, it's a funny movie. I'm not going to say much more about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I need to see this. And I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of him since Oz, but he's a guy that can play like a nice like grandpa or dad or something, or he can play like a really menacing guy like an Oz. He's a really good. Has a lot of range.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I just saw him a couple of weeks ago in I Love You, Man. I hadn't seen that movie in years, and I forgot he was in it.
Yep.
Let's see. That was 6, right? 6.
Mhm.
6 for me is The Menu,
Nice.
Nice.
which I thought looked really fun going, and then it was even better than I thought it would be. And for people like me and a lot of people nowadays, and like the culture of watching these cooking shows, I think it's going to be relatable to a lot of people. And then I like the one character in it who's really obnoxious and knows all, who thinks it's, he's
The
almost
mad
like
foodie person.
yeah,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
he's talking, and just a really fun movie. And I was happy to see that that Gordon Ramsay actually liked it, because it's kind of it's almost like
Yep.
a parody of him. And I'm a big fan of Anya Taylor-Joy. I think I like
She's
her in
great.
everything.
Yeah, she's
and
just
same.
awesome.
yeah, and she's a very unique look and really
Yep.
talented actress. And she's also on my honorable mention for another movie, which I didn't think was a horror movie, so I didn't make my list. But The Northman, which I love.
Oh,
one of my
okay.
favorite
That
movies of the
movie
year.
was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that movie's fantastic.
But yeah, she's always, anytime she's in something, I'm always interested, because
Yep.
not only is she always good, but she usually picks interesting movies to be in.
Oh yeah, and she's never the same character.
Yeah,
You know,
really
going
good in
along.
Babylon. Too.
Great.
Yeah,
And
I don't,
Peaky Blinders, everything
Oh
I've seen
yeah,
her
yeah. I
in.
was happy when
Yeah.
she popped up Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think I missed anything with her in the last few years since The Witch, except for Queen's Gambit. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't think I actually saw that either. No,
Yeah, you can skip the New Mutants too.
All
It's
That's
pretty
another one I
bad.
didn't
Pretty
see.
bad. Yeah,
That's
you're
what I
not
heard.
missing out.
But yeah, and by the way, Babylon, there is some horror elements in that. I recommend that movie. I think there's some flaws in the movie, but really good movie. And it's weird because the trailers for Babylon makes you think the whole movie's there's the opening scene, like the pre-credit scene. It's like this big party, and that's all they show in the credits. But there's much more to the movie.
Oh,
But so I would check it out.
that's what but it still kind of had me intrigued in the trailer, just seeing that part. You know?
Yeah. Carl Solomon is in it. I thought I saw him,
Oh.
former guest here and from the Greasy Stranglers. Like, is that Carl Solomon? And so I put on Facebook. I was like, I think I saw Carl Solomon dancing in Babylon. And for anyone out there, if you want to see a naked Carl Solomon, check out Babylon.
And who doesn't? I
Exactly.
mean, that's, you know, a pretty exclusive list. Who doesn't?
All right. Number 6. By the way, mine was Menu. Troy.
My number 6 is been mentioned, I think, by both of you guys. Is the Black Phone.
Oh, nice.
Yes. I gotta just my one addition is great year for Ethan Hawke to be really subdued and spooky characters, because if anybody sees him in the Moon Knight on
I didn't know he's in there. He's also in the Northman.
On the Disney
That's
Plus.
right. Shit.
He's the villain in it, and he's really like subdued, thinking he's doing a good thing, and he's awesome in it. He really is. But yeah, Black Phone, my number 6.
Very nice. Mr. Creepy says no, Dr. Satan. He's going to be on the show. Walter Phelan. We just had to set it up. He was traveling this week, so maybe next week, but
Nice.
he will be on very soon. And this week was the first week in a long time Troy could actually be on the show, so I thought, let's do it. Let's do the 13.
Had to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5.
My number 5 has also been mentioned before, Christmas Bloody Christmas. And I first heard about this movie through a reviewer that I watch frequently, Brad Jones, aka the cinema snob of Stone Gremlins Productions.
Nice.
And yeah, I watch his reviews of old B movies. I watch his reviews when it's just him as himself. The 3-minute reviews, 5-minute reviews where he just talks about whatever new movie he went to see. And so Christmas Bloody Christmas was one that I saw the cover of, and I was intrigued, and I watched the video, and he gave it a very glowing review on how much we loved it. So I tried to track it down in theaters. No theater near me was showing it. The nearest theater was like 30 minutes away by freeway, and I was just like, no, let's just watch it on Shudder. So, but either way, I still enjoyed the movie regardless. I mean,
yeah, I didn't even know it had a release. I would have loved to see it.
I didn't either. That would have been fun.
No, definitely. And like you said, Neal, the dialogue is very underrated, especially because it helps you with really getting into these characters and feeling like you're there with them, just walking along the streets of this little town, which I found out was apparently shot in California, actually. So, yeah, no, this little town where they, bar hop, go into stores and stuff like that. Of course, it gets fun when you get the killer robot Santa in there. And no, it's the mixture of Silent Night, Deadly Night, and the Terminator I never knew I needed.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's also, for a movie that's meant to look like a grungy grindhouse horror movie with the 16mm and everything, it feels like a Christmas movie. It looks like a Christmas movie with all the colors and everything.
They do a good job with the use of the red and green in the movie.
Oh yeah.
And also, even though it's grungy and stuff like that, it feels like a big movie too, with the real explosions and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it feels like
nice
a bigger movie than it is.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. But yeah, I loved it. All the effects were in camera, in camera kills and stuff. It's just a really fun movie, really well made. My number 5 is Bones and All, and I really love this movie. So is it horror? I don't know. It's about cannibals of some sort or
Well, I
whatever
gotta
the hell
think
they are.
that constitutes a little horror.
Yeah, and it's fitting for Valentine's Day. It's a love story.
There you go.
And the one of the I think maybe the highlight of the movie for me though is Mark Rylance as Sully. I think he is fantastic in the movie. Really weird character. And it made me go and read the book. And I'll be honest, the book is better, which usually it is. And I try not to make it take away from the movie for me because they changed some stuff that I don't think helped the story. So I wasn't really sure why they changed it. But nonetheless, check out both. It's a different, same story, but a different take. The book is much less of a love story, which is interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they amped that up, and the Sully character is also kind of a combination of two characters from the books. And for some reason, I'm not sure why they flip-flopped the dad and the mom character for the movie, and I don't really understand what the purpose was. So number 5 for you, Troy.
My number 5 is my first streaming movie ever to make my list from Disney Plus. And coming in at under an hour long, not knowing what to expect from this thing at all, but loving the old comic book, was Werewolf by Night, which blindsided me. I didn't expect to love it. I didn't expect to have my mind blown by it. I loved it. I just thought it was as much fun and still keeping that awesome, creepy vibe, a great looking werewolf, and the perfect Man-Thing appearance. Spoiler alert, but if anybody's like jonesing for a better Man-Thing than they got from the sci-fi movie of the same name, check out Werewolf by Night, because they actually made a big ass swamp thing. And so it's an actual physical thing. It's not CG. It's and it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's got the big trunky nose, and I loved it. I just thought, and they filmed it in like a cool black and white, but not like real crisp black and white. I just thought it was so cool. Loved it.
I need to check it out. I heard almost all good things about it. It's very stylized and looks very cool to me. I have not seen. I don't have Disney Plus, so. All right, very good. Number 4.
So number 4 is going to be an interesting story. And it's nothing against the movie. It's more what led me to watch the movie. Terrifier 2. So on a recommendation from a friend who also was under similar circumstances, I had not seen the first Terrifier before seeing Terrifier 2.
Oh, wow.
But my friend who recommended it to me had not seen it either and highly recommended Terrifier 2. He got asked to go see it by a friend and he absolutely loved it. He gave it a glowing review. And so on that, I just went and checked it out in theaters when it was like on its last leg.
Yeah.
When I saw it like at, I think 6 p.m. and there was like only 3 people in the theater. And in fact, when it got to the infamous the long bedroom scene, there was actually 2 people sitting there that not long after that scene, they left. They were the only young people in the theater.
Oh, wow.
Because otherwise it was just me and 2 older gentlemen that we stayed there throughout the whole movie. And no, I loved it. Now I will say I did watch the first one afterwards. Didn't love it as much as I thought I would.
Oh, wow.
Controversial to say. And so it's kind of one of those things that I feel like had I seen the first one first, I probably wouldn't have seen the second one.
Oh, wow.
And I can tell I'm losing Neal a little bit on this.
No, it's all right. I prefer the first one actually to the second one. But I mean, that's fine. The second one is much more insane. I'll say that.
Oh, definitely. No, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's the only gripe I have with it is the just under 2.5 hour runtime was not a problem for me until it got to the climax. Like in the like everything leading up to the funhouse stuff or the carnival was great and was speeding along. And when it gets to the carnival, it starts out good and then it starts to get a little repetitive after a while. Or just felt like it felt like the climax to It Chapter 2. It
Oh
just kept
no!
going
Right,
and
where
going
he
and
just keeps
going.
going.
Yeah,
And I
I didn't
felt
realize
like,
it was 2.5 hours
Yeah.
long. I didn't know that.
yeah, it's Brad Jones said it best. It's trying to be just this epic horror sequel, which I do also appreciate. Also, I gotta say, I love the clown cafe scene. That scene is just phenomenal. I adore that scene. It's great. I could literally just spend all day just watching that scene on YouTube if I found it. And Art the Clown was great in it. Lauren, I don't know if I'm remembering the name right. Lauren Lavera is great in it.
Mm.
I love the movie.
Yeah. And a cheap plug, you can listen to the Lauren Rivera interview here on
Yeah.
Without Your Head, and Emily McLean, who played the pale little girl, and also two Art the Clown interviews. So,
And she was spooky looking.
oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
she was.
So 4,
I
I'm
haven't
cheating.
seen this movie. I have
Really?
not seen.
Yeah, I
haven't
saw
seen
it. It was
Terrifier
weird.
2 yet.
Annabelle and I went to see it. So we had like a double header. We went to see Terrifier 2, and then we saw the A Bronx Tale one night, the one man play, but with Chaz Palminteri. So these were the
Nice.
two things we saw. Completely different things.
Just about the
Very
same
different,
thing.
yeah. So my number 4, I decided to cheat so I could get really a 14th movie on here, and I have 2 movies.
Oh,
So, but it's 2 movies that have been talked about. Number 4, Christmas Bloody Christmas, which I love, and also my number 4 is also Terrifier 2,
nice.
Nice.
which it's totally insane. I agree. I actually do think the runtime it is just I don't think I think it actually all the kill scenes are great in it, but when you see them over and over, it does desensitize you, I think, a little bit as the movie goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would I cut? Like, I can't really pick anything, but I do think it could have been cut down. That's pretty much the only negative I would say. But if you want just, there's more story in this one. There's a little bit of backstory. Definitely leads up to a third one. To see more of what's going on. I kind of like that the first one has no backstory to Art. He just comes in and kills everybody. I kind of like that. I don't know though. I think sometimes you saw the second one first and you think, well, if you saw the first one first, you might not have went to see the second one. But maybe you think that because you saw the second one first, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So if you went into the first one without any knowledge, you might have liked it more than liking it after seeing the second one.
Possibly. It's up to speculation.
Yeah.
Which I will say, one other little side note on Terrifier 2, that kill scene in the bedroom was kind of the moment when I was thinking to myself, because up until then, maybe one of the goriest movies I had seen, even barring the first 2 Evil Dead movies, is Lucio Fulci's The New York Ripper.
Oh, okay.
Which is, if you guys have ever seen it or not, it's pretty damn graphic. And there is a bedroom killing scene in that movie that's almost as graphic as the one in Terrifier 2. But like when I was watching it, I was like, is this movie beating out the New York Ripper? This is crazy.
Yeah, I would say it's the most graphic movie I've ever seen released in the theater.
No kidding.
Like an actual theatrical release movie. Yeah, it was.
Wow.
I was watching this, like, oh my, I can't believe. Which does add to it when you're in a theater with like us fairly normal people, because they think, oh, I'm going to go see a horror movie. Our theater is pretty busy, pretty packed. Because we saw it the first weekend. Because at that time we didn't know how long it was going to play, and it ended up playing, a lot longer than it was originally going to play, and it did. That kind of makes me laugh thinking of all these people here who might just think they're seeing like like a Blumhouse horror movie, nothing against those, and they're just seeing very vile stuff throughout the movie. Yeah. And for some reason I don't think it was IMAX, but they showed it on the IMAX screen at our theater. Yeah. But I don't think I think that was just the theater they had free, and I was like, I don't think this is an IMAX, but whatever.
And I will say it was shocking that I was like, a movie this gory, there's no way this got an R rating. And then I looked it up. Sure enough, it was released unrated, which is...
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
And
see this one I still have to see as well because I
yeah,
can't
and
say
an important movie, I think it might be the most important movie to horror that was released this year because it did so well. They kept extending it, and it really opened it up for the theaters to give independent horror movies a chance. And we saw stuff get released that probably wouldn't have otherwise.
Oh yeah, which is so
100%.
good. It's great to
I know
see.
some of my friends who are very anti-Terrifier too, but I think especially if you create independent horror movies, it's good. It's good for the genre.
Yeah, I think there's room for everything. That's great.
All right, you're number 3.
Or 4, isn't it?
4.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
My number 4 has already been mentioned, and it's The Menu, and I really
nice.
enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. I knew you would like that, Troy, because like me, you watch a lot of those shows.
Oh yeah, and like when you hear the things like, "Oh, it's got a great mouth feel to it," and like, you're just rooting for someone to get killed at that point.
Yeah. She's like, never say mouthfeel again.
Yep.
All right, number 3 now.
My number 3, yes, chef. It's The Menu.
Oh,
nice, awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, I knew I was gonna like it from the first trailer that I saw, and in fact, a buddy of mine, Brandon, who I remember, he kind of, I might be remembering it wrong, but I'm pretty sure the first trailer we saw for the movie, he wasn't as interested in it. But then when he just asked myself and another friend of ours for like movies that we think he should see, regardless of whether we've seen them, I was just like, oh, go see The Menu, I guess. And so he went to see it, and he ended up loving it. And so much that he told me to tell him when I was going to see it so that he could go see it again. And, he almost downplayed how funny it was, because we both ended up laughing our asses off in the theater when we saw it on a Monday night where there was nobody there, actually. It was like 2 weeks after the movie was out. And so, it was a fun time. It was great. Still, my favorite one is the cook that kills himself, and then they give him a rest in peace when they show the dish named after him.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, this one too, like it kind of goes to people that aren't necessarily always horror fans.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Elena Novaro, who used to be like our gym teacher and then our like dance instructor, and she's a 70-something-year-old woman, and she adored this movie. She's like, "Oh my God, Troy, you got to see this." I'm like, "Oh, I did. I loved it."
That's awesome.
Yep.
All right.
Ouch.
Oh,
being assaulted by my cat.
Getting
the warlock bite. Ouch. Gandalf doesn't bite, but Warlock, he likes to love bites.
That's like my cat Sandy.
When they draw blood, you know they love you.
I never thought of it that way. That's good.
At least that's what he tells me.
All right. Number 3. Studio 666. On the trailers for this, I actually thought, like, is this even a real movie, or is this just like a fake trailer? And so I honestly, I got to go see this, and I thought it's gonna be really bad. I honestly thought it was gonna be really bad, and I had an absolute blast the entire movie.
That's awesome.
It's just a fun. It's not a feel bad movie at all. It's just a fun horror movie. You could tell the Foo Fighters are having a great time in it. Everyone involved, I think, is having a good time. It kind of felt like a Tenacious D kind of like sketch, but
that's awesome.
Film to me. Just one of the most fun I had this year in the theater. Annabelle and I went to see it, and it was just actually, I went to see it once, and then I was like, "Oh, Annabelle, you have to go see this. You're gonna have fun." And she thought the same thing. She thought it was gonna be stupid. I was like, "No, go see it. It's fun." And it's just a really fun movie. Studio 666.
I still need to see it.
I haven't either. I would love to see this.
Some of my favorite kills of the year. So you got Terrifier 2 has great kills, but they're very violent and in a way kind of feel bad, even though the movie's kind of fun. Studio 666 it's very just over the top and silly gore, which I like both kind of things.
Yep.
It's definitely not a movie you're going to take seriously at all. So it's just, if you want to have a good time, Studio 666.
All right, I definitely will check it out.
Ditto.
That was number 3.
Yeah.
My number 3 has also been mentioned, and it was Smile, and I really loved it.
I did too.
I don't really have anything new to add, though, I'm afraid. I just really dug it.
It took me off guard on this. A lot of ones on this list for me this year were ones that I was surprised by.
Yep. And I think the best, like, just shocking, like, jump scare is the upside down head when she's talking to the person at the car. Like, is the greatest scene. Like, I just love that one.
Yeah. And I'm not anti jump scare. I just think if that's all you have, whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah.
There's
Don't
a lot
bother
more to the
then.
movie, so, yeah. So number 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. My number 2 my next 2 have already been mentioned. It's number 2 is Nope.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I saw this at an interesting time. It was when pretty much every movie, I think from when I saw Top Gun Maverick up until E.T., every movie I saw in theaters was an IMAX release, except for David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future. That was the only one that I saw just regular theater. But Nope was great. It was great to see on a big giant screen, and had a blast with it.
Yep.
Yeah, and the end, I've seen some people don't like the end. I think the end's awesome.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it as well. So number 2's been mentioned by everybody, I believe. It's a little higher for me, is a Smile.
Nice. You're only one spot ahead of me, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, for me though, I see people all the time saying like they don't make good horror movies nowadays, whatever. But I saw so many good horror movies this year, and a lot of them, a lot of great stuff on streaming and stuff. But I think there's always a lot of good stuff that way. But there's a lot of good theatrically released horror movies, which sometimes I'm not really into the mainstream horror movies. Not to be cool, but they're just good to me. But I thought there was a lot of good ones this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a surprisingly good year for them.
Yeah.
And that movie works for me on every level.
Yeah, I agree.
I love the payoff too. The payoff is just crazy, and I love it.
Yeah, it gets way weirder than expected. The jump scares work. I think you feel bad for her. She's a really good, hero of the movie. Where you get a lot of sympathy, and then it's actually got a lot of interesting themes. So there's a lot more to the movie than you think going in.
Very true.
So your number 2, Troy.
My number 2. I think my number 2 has been mentioned once. I can guarantee it will not be mentioned by you at your number 1. And I think that if it would have been any other movie made by Sam Raimi, it would have had a much bigger buzz in the horror community. And it's Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness, which I went berserk over. I love this movie so much. I can't even begin to tell you. Like, I think it was the perfect, like, finish to the Scarlet Witch's character, like just having her as the villain, and with great reasons for why she's gone insane and grabbed, the dark hold, and Cumberbatch, my man, like Doctor Strange 2, all about it.
Very good. All right. Now it is time for the number 1.
My number 1 is one that I regret not seeing more times in theaters, but I've seen it plenty of times at home now. Pearl.
Oh, very good.
I love the way this movie looks with the uber, saturated colors and everything, mimicking, 3-strip Technicolor. I actually do love the story behind it. I'm just a sucker for movies. I mean, even in spite of X's existence, I'm still a sucker for what's the word I'm looking for? Character movies, basically just characters slowly going insane.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's always a good thing.
Oh yeah,
And a
and
little
I'm-
continuity between your two there. X and that.
that's true. And on top of that, I would say that this movie is officially what's got me obsessed with pretty much watching anything with Mia Goth from now on, because I
Awesome.
just went a couple weeks ago to see Infinity Pool and loved her in that. And yeah, so I think I'll be seeing more films with her if I know she's
Yeah, I
sure.
agree. The last couple of years I loved Infinity Pool, by the way, so maybe a spoiler for next year's 13. I don't know, but
Might be
she's
on my
I'll
list
awesome.
have
too.
to
She's
see
amazing
this
in it.
one before.
Yeah. I really like Brandon Cronenberg movies. The last, I think he's made 3, I guess. But yeah, I was happy I get to see that in the theater because I don't think it's playing anymore. It might still be
Yeah.
playing, but if it's still
I think-
playing, I would recommend it to anyone out there. Yeah, she's great in it, and good choice. And yeah,
Indeed.
we'll talk with Infinity Pool another time.
And I will say it's also one of my favorite ending shots in a movie.
Yeah, I
Without
agree. Yeah.
spoiling anything.
I agree 100% with that. And I think there was which I probably should have maybe had on my list, but A Wounded Fawn. I won't say a similar, but I like the idea of having a shot that makes it hard for modern streaming sites and TV to zip through your credits, because that really annoys me on streaming sites and TV when they just cut off the credits.
Oh, I loathe that. That's the
Same,
worst thing. Yep.
So my number 1 has not actually been mentioned.
Nor has mine. That's what makes me think it might be the same.
It could be. I mentioned Terrifier 2 is the most graphic movie I ever saw in a theater. This movie's up there for being one of the most graphic movies I've ever seen, but I didn't see in a theater, and that is The Sadness.
Hell yeah. Also
I love
my
this.
number 1. This movie
this movie's
blew my little mind.
yeah, this movie's nuts. It's kind of it's not really a zombie movie. It's like more of a 30 Days Later kind of people going nuts.
But these
movie.
people still have their minds though, because they're
Right.
talking and this movie is just freaky as hell.
Yeah, I
and
loved
spooky as hell too. Like that right from the get-go. As soon as the first guy kind of goes insane it's a woman, I guess, the first one.
Yeah.
And it just grabbed me at that point. I was doomed.
And the main guy who plays the the businessman guy, he is spooky and creepy and crazy, and there's some really graphic sexual violence scenes. It's definitely not gonna be a movie for everybody, but it's for me. It's for Nasty Neal. I love The Sadness.
Yeah, I could see it being a little intense for certain people, because it's not only just violent, but like you say, there's a lot of just insane sexual things going on. And because I guess the people just, I don't know if they lose their inhibitions and then go crazy or whatever it is, but there's stuff going on in this movie.
Yeah, it was funny when I had the director and Rob Javaz, the writer and director, and he said he had, because I saw a lot of political stuff in the movie, not just like the obvious stuff where it's like the beginning's really about COVID and stuff, but and he said it's fun for him to read that stuff, but he had no political when he's writing it, he had no political motivations, or he didn't put any political stuff at least he didn't think he did in the movie.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting. I kind of found as a metaphors. I won't go into what I said, but I saw a lot of politicalness into the. I don't want to drive off half our audience, but I'll just say I saw it kind of when you were saying about people losing their inhibitions. To me, it was about people feeling. The movie was like they could be as rotten as and disgusting as they want to be now, which to me was sort of like the rise of someone.
I can definitely see your point there.
Right,
Yeah.
sure. So, what's your number 1? Am I? Is it the same?
No. What are you talking about? No, it is. Oh, just kidding.
Oh man, that's
So,
another one I meant to see this year, but I never got around to it. Or last year. I'm sorry, last year.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely check it out. It's
I
it's
think
not gonna
you'll
be for
love it,
everybody,
Justin,
but
because like you kind of like you usually get into that kind of craziness. I think you'll dig it. I think you'll definitely
yeah.
dig it.
You
And
know my
some of the
taste.
kills are berserko in it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just like,
It's really gory and bloody,
and it starts
graphic,
you
and
off right away. You got about 5 minutes into the movie when it's just like, what am I watching
yeah.
now? This is
It's not a
crazy.
feel-good movie.
No, it isn't. It isn't.
Oh, my favorite kind.
Yeah, yep. Yeah,
So,
this is an all around kind of feeling bad kind of flick, I guess.
so
Don't get too fond of anybody in it.
No,
We'll
that's
say
true.
that.
Any honorable mentions for anything that's not been mentioned yet?
No, I think all my honorables have been mentioned.
The Northman, like I said, but I didn't really consider horror movie, but even though it's got some horror elements, but Master I thought was really good horror movie where they use like kind of ghosts for the like a parable for racism. I thought it was a really
I liked
interesting
that movie. I did.
Yeah.
I did. I'd forgotten about it.
The Accursed was really good. It was the guy directed Willy's Wonderland's follow-up film, and
Oh, wow.
completely different movie. It's like a a period piece, and a really great witch in that movie,
Ooh.
which sometimes is not good witches in films.
I'm fond of a cool witch.
Everything all at once. Everything.
Oh.
I didn't consider a horror movie really, but I
Very
had it
good
here.
movie, though. Yep.
But it was great though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. It was one of my favorite
Loved it,
movies of the
too.
year for sure, and I was really happy to see it. Not that like I grew up watching the Oscars, but I don't, not that means really that much. But I'm still happy to see it up for Oscars.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
for sure.
And Torn Hearts was really fun too. I saw that at
What was that one?
at Fright Fest, and I believe it's on. I want to say Shudder. I'm not sure if it's on Shudder. It's on one of those Hulu or something. It's got I'm gonna be bad. It's got Peg Bundy. What's her name? She's a great actress.
Katie Siegel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Her
remember
first
her
horror
name either.
movie. Yeah, and she plays she was like part of a country singing duet with her twin sister. The twin sister died. She retires, and then these two young up and coming country singers go and visit her and want to get like advice and want to have her come back and do a song with them, and things happen from there. It was really cool. I didn't really know anything about it. It premiere, I think it was the premiere at Fright Fest in London, and I went to see it, and it was good fun.
Nice.
And then I have a bunch of other ones here, but it was all stuff that I brought up, X and things like that.
Yeah, my honorable mention is one that was going to be either my 12 or 13, but after like thinking about it for a few days, I was like, the movie was good, but not good enough to be on the list officially. It was called Hellbenders, and it was a Shudder movie.
Oh yeah, I think I had it on my list last year because I saw it at the festival. So
oh, nice. Yeah, I thought it was good, but definitely the thing that loses me is the ending with the very bad CGI effects, and and the one that I was iffy on whether or not it would make the list at all was Pinocchio, because it does have some elements, but it's not a horror movie.
yeah,
And
Troy and I went to go see Pinocchio at the theater. We're all excited, and we were sitting there, and the guy came in like, we're having a problem with the projector. It'll be another 15 minutes. I'm like, okay. And then he came back to be like, oh, it's gonna be like 20 more minutes. We're just sitting there, and then he's like, it's not working. And so he gave us a refund and refunded us our popcorn and soda. So that was nice. But we never got to see it, but I could see it on Netflix, I guess.
oh man, yeah, I did get to see it in theaters. I was kind of in this when I saw that they were only showing it in the afternoon. I was like, but I kind of want to see it at night. But then I was like, what the hell? Go for a matinee. And yeah, it was interesting watching it with an audience that, it was families that brought their kids thinking, oh, it's gonna be just like the Disney movie. And then
right.
halfway through, the kids are like, can we go? And God, it's like Everything Everywhere. It's a movie that actually caught me off guard with how much it actually made me tear up.
Yeah, that everything all everywhere all at once. That's a movie that like fits into every like genre thing. And
Mhm.
so it's like a sci-fi movie, it's action movie, it's all stuff, and it has so much heart. Like you really get into the characters. And that's a movie to me is like there's no flaw. Like I just think that's this was a great
Man,
all-around movie.
it was a Black Friday buy for me.
Oh,
So
nice. That's awesome. I went to see it. That was another one I told Annabelle. I was like, oh, you got to go see this after I saw it. We went and saw it. So I saw it
yes.
twice in the theater, which was happy. I'm happy going to see movies multiple times if I like it.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's one I wish I'd gone to see multiple times in theaters. Which who knows if it? I think they've been talking about re-releasing it. So
Yeah, it's actually playing at my AMC right tomorrow.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, how many movies do you have to see?
Oh right. Well, I don't know, but my theater it also I think they the movies that go up for Oscars they release like again.
Oh, okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go see Consecration tomorrow. I'm not sure what else.
Yeah,
And
that's another one I heard about recently through Brad Jones. So
it looks cool. I really don't know too much about it. I just know the poster art looks cool. I did see the trailer for it last week,
Yeah.
I think.
That's one with the nuns doing the
It kind of looks like
Peekaboo.
Ken Russell's The Devils a little bit, but I don't know.
that movie is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I showed that to some friends last fall, and yeah, just seeing them laughing and having a good time throughout the whole movie was just that was awesome. That was great.
And next Wednesday, I'm excited. It's funny. I see a lot of people really against this movie. Is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and I'm like, I think I'm excited to see it. It might be terrible, I don't know, but
Yeah,
I see a lot of people are
Give
just
it a
mad that they
chance.
made it. And then they came out. There was like an interview or something today. Anyway, it was reported today that he wants to do a twisted like fairy tale like universe. So it's like Winnie the Pooh, and I think Bambi is one of them.
I think that would be tremendous. I'd
That'd
love
be
to see
great.
all that.
And I saw there was people like, no, don't do this. And I just replied on Facebook.
Think
I
of
was
the
like,
children.
just don't go see it. I mean,
Yeah, yep.
there's lots of stuff that comes out I don't want to see. I just don't go see it. I don't
Yeah.
tell everyone else they can't see it.
Yeah, if you
You know?
still want, if they make a spooky Little Mermaid, you can still watch like Disney's Little
Right, right.
Mermaid, and
Yeah, it's
know.
true.
And all those old stories, most of them are really dark and creepy to begin with.
that's true. Yeah,
I don't know about Winnie the Pooh, but anyway, I'm interested.
Yeah, no, I got a little bit of the Fathom Events trailer for it before Infinity Pool, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Which
yeah, definitely check it out anyway.
As of now, I think it's just playing one night, Wednesday. So
That kind of sucks, just the one night thing.
but some
Yes.
things,
I mean,
Like,
better
the-
than no nights, I
yeah,
guess.
like the
Yeah.
mean one, it originally was just gonna be like that weekend or a couple days, and then it got a wide release and played for a few weeks. Even
Yeah.
Terrifier 2, I think originally was 6 days or 3 days or something, and it kept getting expanded. So
yeah, played until mid-November, I think.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
I don't know if this will have those legs, but maybe it'll get a little
No.
wider release if people go see it.
Which I was gonna say though, Infinity Pool was one of the things I enjoyed most about that movie was the fact that at first, because of how few people there were there, I was almost like, damn, I almost wish that I had the theater to myself. But then the great thing about that I didn't even think about was walking out of the theater, and now contrast that with Crimes of the Future, where people were actually walking out midway through the movie. Maybe they were legitimately disgusted or bored, I don't know which, but with Infinity Pool, they stayed throughout the whole movie, and then as I was walking back to the parking garage, I could hear the people behind me that were in the auditorium talking about the movie, trying to wrap their heads around it.
Oh, that's always very cool.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
pretty neat.
It was
Yeah,
just pretty-
was-
It was pretty busy the one I went to when I went to see it.
I went to see it on a Tuesday night, so that's why.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last time Neil and I were the only people in a theater, and then they had a problem with the
I'd mentioned Pinocchio.
yeah, with Pinocchio, so we
Yeah.
never got to see it.
Oh,
It's like son of a bitch.
But I don't want to do our least favorite. It wouldn't be my least favorite, but I was I can't say I was into Crimes of the Future. I really wanted to like it, but
I did too. And I mean, I at least thought it was okay. It was a nice return to form for Cronenberg, but I just wish there was more of a solid foundation there in comparison to, say, Videodrome or Scanners or The Brood or The Fly. It's like this one just felt like, even with all the weird stuff to keep you somewhat entertained, it was aimless.
Oh, really?
It had no direction.
That's too bad, because like I thought with Vigo in it, at least, it had something going on.
kind of almost felt to me, because I said this in a review, it almost felt like it was like a pilot episode for a series. Like they were setting up everything, and then there's like there's a sort of a payoff at the end, but I don't know. It just I don't know. It just like you said, there wasn't a lot going on there, or I don't know. But yeah, it just wasn't it wasn't great. But it was cool that I could see it in the theater.
Oh yeah,
same. Especially again it was a packed house when I went to see it, and yeah, seeing as many people walk out as they did kind of did add some entertainment value to the scene in the theater.
Yeah, I saw people walking out. There was people walking out when I went to see Skinamarink, but I kind of wanted to be one of them.
Oh. I still haven't seen it. I think that was one of those that, because I heard so many mixed reviews, especially people saying that it was boring. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be in the theater watching that. I think I'll just wait until it goes on Shudder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it's doing well, though.
Negative on the show, but I honestly think it was the worst movie I've ever seen released in a theater.
Really?
That's my I'm not trying to be hyperbole, put out hyperbole here or anything, but I just thought when I was watching, I was like, I don't know how this got in the theater. I kind of felt duped. Like it's not even like a movie. It's just like shots of the floor and Legos and corners of like a door, and like, what the hell is it?
I will give it this though. It did pretty well though.
Yeah.
It did pretty well box office wise. So that could spell.
I have a little different take on this because I saw a lot of people saying the same thing. But when I went to see it, probably half or more of the people walked out, and I've heard other people do a similar thing. So while it brought people in, my fear is that all the people that walked out, it's going to
never going to go see
not
another
want to come back to horror movies, not want to give independent horror movies a shot, which would be maybe short term it looks good, like people went and saw it, but if all those people went to see it, didn't like it, well, one movie turned them off. I don't know. It wouldn't turn me off because I like horror movies, but I think maybe this audience that's going back to going to see these horror movies, maybe something like this might be like, I'm not going to be as likely to go and see this next one that they.
So it'll be just the opposite of the menu, that it's bringing in people that
might
not watch a horror movie normally.
Yeah, it could be like giving it more credit than it deserves. One movie, people walking out of it, but.
And not to mention, who knows, if it is just that one movie, maybe if there's a Skinamarink, let's say a knockoff of sorts, that looks similar enough to that movie, they might look at that and go, that looks just like that one movie that I didn't like. I'm not going to go see that.
Yeah, I think there already is one. There's this one, it's maybe like a 17-year-old.
I was hearing and it looked
like it was very similar, and I think that's why it's getting a release. I think it's like a YouTube movie or something, and now they're putting it on at the theater or something. So,
yeah, Backrooms, I think, or
it could have been.
I don't know. I've seen some people who really love it, so I understand everyone's got a different opinion, but that one I just don't understand you if you like it. No. All right. Well, that was very fun.
As always, thank you,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Indeed.
We'll
No.
do some more 13s once we get Troy nailed down here on his schedule.
There we go. That's the one I was trying to Oh, I love it.
And this Saturday, Severed Limbs 12, My Bloody Valentines. It'll be a good time. Over 6 hours, 37 short horror films and trailers and classic trailers and some weird commercials I found. We'll have a live chat. The filmmakers and the audience will all be here watching it and chatting along. It'll be fun.
Always have a good time with that.
Yes. Coming up, The Hagues, which will take me a little while to edit. I have some stuff. I got to get my New Year's resolution is to be better at editing. Not better necessarily at editing, but quicker at editing.
No.
Getting the stuff done because I also have some other stuff I should have up.
Because we still got a certain
I love the horror.
yeah.
Yeah. Which I will get on. I want to finish this because it's like the award thing, and then I will finish that one. And then another series is also coming up, which I'll have a trailer up after the festival.
I look forward to all this.
Yes.
This all sounds great.
And Walter Phelan, I believe, will be next week. Played Dr. Satan. This is the 20th anniversary of House of a Thousand Corpses.
Wow.
2003. Shit.
That's crazy.
It was very
Wow.
weird because it popped up. This was the 10th anniversary of when I hosted the 10th anniversary panel of House of a Thousand Corpses in LA, but it's before I knew Justin, so he couldn't come out to it.
That's I was in junior high when that movie came out. That's
Oh wow.
That's blowing my mind right now.
That's
that is
crazy to me
pretty
to think
wacky.
So I went and I remember, I forget where I saw about this, but there's supposedly like the original runtime of the film is much longer, I believe.
Yeah, like 100 minutes or something.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was never actually released, but there was a bootleg of it. And so I have a bootleg of the movie. And the only reason I bought the bootleg was at the time, if people remember, they weren't sure it was ever going to be released at all. And so that's why I bought the bootleg. I don't say that's cool to buy bootlegs of movies. So I went and I actually found it, but mine is the exact same runtime as the actual.
Oh, is it?
But so I was gonna say, oh wow, that'd be cool if I had it, because like I'd be interested in what the difference is. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's a cool movie. I'll have Walter Phelan on the show.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. So I don't know what the next list will do. I know we want to do a vampire one at some point.
Oh yeah.
And a Stephen King one as well.
Me and Stephen King.
Yeah,
those are
that
two
would be a
months I
good
like
one.
to do.
I got both those
Also-
lists right here.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
He's prepared.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go watch
The
Vampire
ankle
and
still be
King.
wet when I do it. You know me.
I'm gonna go start watching any of the King movies I haven't seen. I've probably seen most of them, but I had not seen the Harrington's Phone one.
Yep, I think he'll dig it. When
you
the
You're reading. Did you finish the King book I recommended?
I finished the first one that you recommended. Unlike some people that never listen to my recommendations.
Oh, shots fired.
What?
No, you
Unless
told
a
me, I
complete
wanted to ask
stranger
you,
recommends it. So
which,
like,
which F. Paul Wilson one did you recommend? Because there's so many here on Audible.
start with the Tomb. The Tomb
oh,
is the first Repairman Jack
okay.
Wilson story. And it's great. You get the Ricochet in there. It's great stuff.
I've read
You'll
The
dig it.
Keep. Is that happens before? But
Yeah,
they're not connected, are they?
they are. Well, some of the characters continue along. You'll meet two of the people that you met in The Keep later on in Repairman Jack.
Okay.
But it's probably about 16 books in, so only if you're
Damn.
there for the long haul where you.
How many books are there?
In Repairman Jack, I think there's 20.
Holy.
And then in The Adversary, which is kind of the story of Rassilon and Glaken, the people from The Keep, there's like another 4 stories. So Wilson, if you want to talk about somebody that like continuity is big with F. Paul Wilson. So, and then once you read some, then we'll have to get Wilson back on and talk.
Yeah. He's been on twice. That'd be cool.
Yep. This will be our third time with F. Paul Wilson.
Yeah. All right.
And then sometime we'll have to do a series 13 because there's so many good like horror
like TV
series on TV. Yeah, like because there's so many of the things that I saw this year that didn't really fit into the movies because they weren't standalone. Like Interview with the Vampire has been tremendous, and
I've not watched the show.
So many great things.
Yes.
On a more comedic thing, Wednesday I thought was really.
Yeah, I've
really
heard all good things about it too.
Yeah. So that's another 13 we'll have to do at some point in time.
All right. Like of all time series, our favorites of all time.
Either way, because I don't think they would probably have 13 just for this year.
Right. Yeah. That'd be
maybe like the last
one,
10 years or something.
Because I'm not going to go binge watch every series ever made, so it'd have to be the ones like that I've watched. So
same.
Oh yeah. I mean, like
but that'll
you
be
could go
cool,
back
though,
and
I think we might have a lot of different stuff. Yeah,
like 500 episodes of Dark Shadows. See what you think about that.
Tales from the Dark Side.
Yep,
yeah.
few
I'm
of those.
a big fan of Tales from the Dark Side, actually.
Yep,
that's an underrated anthology movie. Tales from the Dark Side.
Oh, the movie's so good. Yeah,
I still need to see the movie, but I've seen most of season 1 of the show. So
that was a show I really liked as a kid. There's some that really aren't particularly good, but there's a lot of the ones that are good are very good.
Oh yeah.
I do there's not too many shows like that anymore. I mean, I like shows that are one ongoing story.
Yeah,
but I do like ones that are just one
like a standalone thing.
Yeah, where you don't need to watch them in order. You can just watch them.
That's what I really liked about Del Toro's thing this year.
Right,
the Cabinet of Curiosities. I thought was tremendous.
And who knows? There might just be another anthology coming up in the fall.
Ooh.
Oh, you want to give us do you want to give us the details, or do you want to wait?
I think I'll start the plug because why not?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So no, Dark Signals, upcoming web series in fall of 2023. We've been essentially working on pre-production since 2020, in the fall of 2020. And yeah, we currently have about 5 episodes. The 5 out of 6 episodes shot. The 6th one's being shot next month, fingers crossed. And there's probably a couple little things that we need for the rest of the episodes, but for the most part, most of them are done. There's a few directed by me, there's a few directed by others, friends of mine, and it's been all shot in and around Orange County, and also in a couple of adjoining counties here and there.
Very cool.
All one big anthology horror series based around a hacker named Dr. Midnight, who is breaking into a streaming service to basically replace all the generic streaming service content like reality shows and kids shows and stuff with horror movies, and those are the different stories. So yeah.
Very cool.
I'm down. I am.
Yeah, we're excited to see us, and we're proud of Justin.
Yep, absolutely.
Always happy to see, and always excited to watch your new stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool.
And this way, there we go. Got it.
All right. And so another shout out to treacherous Trista, and we'll get her back on a 13 here one of these days.
Absolutely.
Indeed, we shall.
All right. Anything else before we take off here? It was a fun show. Thanks for watching, everybody.
It's a great show. Thank you, gentlemen. I always look forward to these.
Me too.
It was a good time had by all.
Yep.
And give us some of your suggestions out there. I'll post them on the Facebook group. What 13 list would you like to see in the future?
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
And what movies did we miss? Like,
right.
If
yeah.
there's
Yell
some
at us.
hidden gem, like tell us. Let us
Yeah,
know.
or yell at, say, nasty Neal, what the hell are you doing putting Texas Chainsaw Massacre on there? The
That's
movie's
it.
terrible, but
Or if anyone wants to call out me and Troy picking Doctor Strange Multiverse
Bring
of
it.
Madness.
Bring it.
that's what I'm gonna do right after. the
Yep,
show.
that's okay. I was ready for it. I was like, all right, Neal's gonna go now.
So was I. That's why I had to throw out there. I was like, controversial choice.
I was like, I'm ready.
I'd be
I got
outnumbered. So, yeah.
my Doctor Strange in hand.
Yeah, I don't think I have a 2022 horror shirt. I think all my horror shirts are like of old movies. So,
Same.
I have
I
an
mean,
old
Geez, you're probably right. I don't
Yeah,
think
so
I
you know
have
what?
any
This
either.
is about as close as you get to Sam Raimi with.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I know it. Maybe it won't be the same, but I am looking forward to the new Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
Same.
Yep.
The trailer I
comes out
thought
in a
looked
couple
very
months.
cool.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's a bunch of new stuff coming around this year that should be, that I'm definitely looking forward to. Whether it'll be good or not,
Yeah,
we'll
who
see.
knows?
But,
Yeah,
Renfield.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Renfield,
Oh my
I'm
god,
excited to
totally
see.
geeked for that.
I saw the trailer actually for the new Children of the Corn, and I didn't even know
Whoa.
it was like made or nothing. And the other week when I was at the theater, I was like, "What is this? The new Children of the Corn?" And honestly, it looked good.
Did it? All right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that then too.
They did a little bit different. I think some people are telling me it's a prequel, but I don't think so. It's just it's a new take on the original story, but they actually show the kids taking over the town and killing all the adults.
Oh
which
wow.
I think is cool because in the previous two where they, like the original one and then the USA one, I think it was, that's always just like they just show it real briefly, them
Yeah,
killing
just kind of yeah.
so
Just
to actually
glossed
show
over.
the rise of the kids, I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right. I've actually never read the original story. It's pretty short, right?
It is. I think it's like a 40-pager.
Oh, wow.
Like that. Yeah.
All right. I'll have to find that.
I don't remember what it's in. It might be in
Yeah. Well, I got this thing called the internet. I'll look it up.
Yes, you looked that sucker up. This newfangled gizmo you got.
Do tell us more about this internet.
You crazy kids and your interwebs.
Boy, it did suck before that, though. How would you what the?
Oh, I know.
I have to go to this place called the library or something.
What?
What
archaic place is that you speak of?
I even have my library on my phone. I will say for people like audiobooks like me, well, you can get the other books too, I guess, but audiobooks. So what you do is you get this free app called Libby, and you join your local library, and it's almost just like Audible, and you get you can borrow the audiobooks from your library and listen to them on your phone.
Oh, that's
awesome. So I've got the Sandwich Library, and I also joined the Boston Public Library, which has a lot more books, obviously, because it's much bigger than the town of Sandwich. And so, so I'm currently listening to The Testaments, which is the follow-up to The Handmaid's Tale.
Nice. Well, you can probably get all of Wilson's jazz if you got the Boston
which
one.
is cool.
So
if you just like the newer stuff, like they'll have it, but it'll be like 9 months wait or something because everyone's renting or borrowing it. But yeah, you can listen to tons of old stuff. Like, usually it's pretty easy to get.
Oh, that's great. Shout out to the libraries.
Yeah, see, the library is cool. All right. Now we're just wasting everyone's time.
No, just being foolish.
Shout out to the library, and we'll be back next week. Thank you, guys. Good to see you, Justin.
Yeah, Justin, great to see you. Bye-bye, Neely.
Bye.
It was great being with y'all.
Good night,
and have a good
everybody.
night.
Bye, Trista.
Peace.
See you, Trista.